Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Luchauskas. Today is the 25th of May 2018. Today is the last trading day for this week. So welcome everyone. So we're going to have a look at the markets, what happened with them yesterday, what levels to watch out for today. The usual stuff, guys. But for now, first let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, for you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Also, just a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page here, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis, different trading shoutouts, analysis in different languages, of course. So yeah, guys, feel free to visit us, check us out, and I think you can find something useful for yourself. But for now, let's have a look at the charts. So the first one I want to quickly touch on, I'm not going to spend much time on it, but nevertheless, it's interesting to watch. So the S&P 500, certainly we can see that we're currently in this little range here between the 2742 approximately there and the 2700. So until we get out of this range, we're just we're going to continue observing this one, because at the moment, like I said, it's difficult to predict this one because even though it has broken outside of this triangle formation that it was for quite a while, and it's broken to the upside here, and now it kind of continues to drag here. Certainly, if you look at this picture, the overall sentiment could be bullish. We could maybe end up seeing another push here, but like I said, anything can happen. This market is really driven by politics these days, and we could even see another break here below. But to be honest, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm mentioning this, that keep an eye on this one, guys. Just continue observing it and continue observing these levels. If we see a nice break here above the 2742, it could open the path towards these higher levels here, towards these previous highs that we had in February and March. So the levels here that I'm watching here are the 2790 and the 2800. Now on the downside, we would need to see a nice, good, strong break below the 2700, and then we could see maybe a test of this upper side of the triangle, or say the downwards moving trend line here. We could test that from above, and maybe it could even act as a good trampoline here, and maybe like a good bouncing ground for this index to reverse and move higher again. But stay cautious in here, because if we continue getting negative news and everything, then well, we could end up pushing maybe back below this downwards moving trend line. So, but for now, just continue observe the range here and wait for a nice pop. Looking at the FTSE, now the FTSE was selling off nicely yesterday. We finally broke this upwards moving trend line this week, and now we're heading lower. Certainly the target that we're aiming for right now is around this area right here at around 76.90. A break below that could send it to test. Well, we could meet the 21 EMA first, where the index could stall for a little bit, and then of course eventually we could end up moving lower. Now, if another thing, this is what I was drawing yesterday, and I wanted to share with you guys again. So if you actually draw a Fibonacci retracement here, a good level to watch could be this area right here, the 23.6, the initial good area. And that level is around the 76.60 mark, approximately there. So could be a good area to watch. A break below that could, like I said, could send it a little bit lower. I'm watching this area here, the 75 75.65 area approximately there, but slightly below that we do have the next good area of support at around 74.95, or even slightly higher at around 7500, and just slightly below, which could mean that it could reach the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci. But for now, of course, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. Let's keep an eye on this level first. Let's see if it's gonna actually hit that level today, and that would be interesting to see. Let's have a quick look at the DAX. Now, DAX is also pushing lower. Certainly, again, we also broke out of this rising channel formation. So, and now it can see that it got held here by this 21 EMA. In order to kind of consider further declines, we would need to see a nice move here below this 21 EMA, then eventually a break of this 12,830 area approximately there, and then we could aim towards this area right here at around 12,740 approximately there, which is also not far from this 200 EMA. That could also maybe act as a good level of support initially. But for now, like I said, just keep an eye on this one. Keep an eye on this. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me, my voice is going down. Keep an eye on this area right here, the 12,840. We would need to see a nice break in order to kind of consider further declines. So let's have a look at a few commodities now, and the US oil. This is what I was talking about this whole week, and I was talking about to keep an eye on this upwards moving support line, because we could eventually see a nice break here, and we didn't get a nice break here, and we got stopped here by this almost got stopped here by this 21 EMA, where this is where the commodity is currently trading at. Certainly, if we continue pushing lower, keep an eye on this area right here at around 69.60 mark. Now, a break below that could send this commodity even lower. Certainly, on the bigger picture, I mean, we do have this upwards moving trend line running here since around August time, end of August last year. But like I said, if we do get a nice break here below the 69.60, we could end up moving maybe a little bit lower here towards that area. But for now, I mean, that's quite a huge jump, let's say. Let's see what it wants to do with this area first. Now let's have a look at a few pairs now, and the euro, the first one I want to look at is the euro dollar. Yesterday we had a nice rebound, we pushed higher, managed to reach the area around the 117,500, slightly maybe above that, but nevertheless it met its resistance around that area and then retraced back down. So currently we are continuing to trade around this 117,150 that I kept talking about. Certainly keep an eye on the next potential level here, the 116,900. A break below that could open the path towards, well, we could end up testing this lower bound of the Bollinger Band, and if the selling momentum was going to continue being strong, then, well, keep an eye on this level right here, the 115,500. Certainly the question here is that going to get touched today, or is this something maybe for the near future? So for now, I would probably stay very careful on this one, because we're also not far from this downwards moving resistance line, which could also get tested as well if we do get some sort of good news on the euro, and the euro will start pushing higher. Eventually watch out for maybe a break of that. If we get a touch of this resistance line, watch out for a break of that line, and we could end up testing the 118,200 area approximately there. And if that doesn't hold, I mean, it's opening the path towards higher levels. But for now, let's just go step by step, and let's see what it wants to do with this line first. Or I would probably be more specific, maybe watch out for what it wants to do with this 117.15 first. So and then we'll probably evaluate from there. Looking at the EURUSD, that's an interesting one as well. Continues to hold on its 200 EMA here. On looking at the daily chart here, certainly it's below the long-term upwards moving trend line here that started around February last year, and of course it's getting held, continues getting held by this downwards moving resistance line as well. So for now, this one is a bit of a tricky one. Certainly, my gut is telling me that maybe it could be a little bit of a retracement back to the upside, but then again, don't take my word for that. I mean, this is just pure speculation. Certainly, the momentum is still to the downside. We could end up pushing lower here. We could start aiming towards this level right here at around 154.450, and of course, slightly below that, we do have a better level of support, which is around here, around this low, and that's around the 52 mark, approximately there. So watch out for this one, guys. I mean, this could be an interesting trade. Certainly, for us to become more bullish on this one, we would need to see a nice move higher here, maybe even a break above the 156.15 area, and then we could aim for this downwards moving resistance line and a test of that line from underneath. So for now, just observe this one. It is an interesting pair to watch. So maybe could squeeze something out of it. Quickly, let's touch on the GBPUSD, and GBPUSD is very close to its downwards moving resistance line here that started around the 17th of April to this year. Certainly continues to kind of trade around it. Yesterday we had a nice touch of it, but then retraced back down. At the moment we're seeing this daily candle turning negative, but it's just still early in the morning. If we see another push here towards the 133 mark, can observe be careful here, because we could end up breaking this and we could push a little bit lower, maybe even towards this 132.200 area, approximately there. But if the 133 is going to hold again, well, I mean, for now we're just staying away from this one, because like I said, we do have this downwards moving trend line very close, downwards moving resistance line very close here, and we could end up maybe breaking it and pushing a little bit higher here towards this 134.55 that I kept talking about the whole week. A break above that could open the path towards like higher levels a little bit, but for now, stay very cautious. We do have some news coming out today from UK, and anything could happen. We could see some volatility kicking in to this pair. Looking at the USDCAD quickly, the USDCAD, well, it continues to push higher, yes, certainly, and at the moment it's hitting this 129.150 area, approximately there. Now, for us to kind of become more bullish on this one, we need to see a nice break outside of this triangle, to be honest, because at the moment we can see that it's just ranging here between the 129 and 150 and the 127 to 300, approximately there. Well, this is why I'm stalling here a little bit, because it's a bit of a difficult one, to be honest, guys. I mean, certainly could reverse here back down again, and until we see a nice break outside of this range here, we're just observing this one and just staying neutral, because it's a very close call here. We could end up reversing back down again, because if you look at these previous scenarios here, we had something similar. It initially looked like it wants to push higher, but then we had to get a strong reversal back down. But so for now, like I said, it's an interesting one to watch. Just keep an eye on this one and probably wait for a break outside of this triangle. One more pair that I wanted to touch on is the USDJPY, actually, instead of the USDCHF, but the USDJPY. There we go. We're seeing this nice push lower here. Yesterday, yen got really strong against the dollar this week, and we managed to break this with this channel, this rising channel formation. Then we managed to break the upwards moving long-term upwards moving trend line that started in 2012. So now we're kind of balancing around it, and of course the whole kind of the whole idea here is where it's going to close today, because if it's going to close below this long-term upwards moving trend line, then well, it's probably not looking good for the pair, and we could see maybe some more down moves here. Maybe even next week we could see a little bit continuation, another continuation to the downside. But for now, it's another one just to observe. It's quite a difficult call here. I mean, if we get a nice push here above the 110, certainly could be seen as a bullish sign here, but for us to kind of consider this more bullish, we would need to see a move back inside this rising channel formation, and then probably we could aim for higher levels. But for now, we're very cautious in this one. Like I said, certain geopolitical activities are affecting this pair, so for now we're just keeping an eye on it, and watch also considering these lower levels here. The good level to watch here on the downside is the 108,650, approximately there. And on the upside, certainly the psychological 110. But again, like I said, it could go either way here, and just keep an eye on it. Okay, guys. Well, I'll have to wrap it up here, and thank you very much for watching and listening. And I hope you join me later on in my Traders Tea Time at 13:15 GMT time, 14:15 British Summer Time. And yeah, but for now, have a good day, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye.